Parts of the body. Liver. Where's your liver? Everyone show me where your liver is. How big is your liver? Okay. So how are you going to target somebody's liver if you don't know where it is, how big it is? Find me some pictures of the liver. We're having an anatomy course, guys. This is how sick and twisted I am. I find it funny. You hit the liver, boom, and they go, I'm fine. Oh. Do you guys know why that happened? No. Okay. So this is all relevant information, yes? I know you guys came here to box. Oh, look at that. Okay. That's right across the solar plexus, yeah. Nice. What's the second largest organ in the human body?
Skin.
Second largest.
That's number one. I'm gonna say the liver.
Yes. Okay. And you already told us what the
number one
largest organ is, the skin. Okay. I think that's kind of like trick question. And the skin is not inside the body, so the liver is the largest organ in the body.
Massive.
So
yeah.
now where your floating ribs are. Oh. All right. So show me another picture. How many ribs you guys have? Can you see how this is important?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Look at this. So, take a look at this picture. Who can venture a guess which ones are the floating ribs and why they're called floating ribs?
Let's say because they're not connected to the ribs.
Right
here.
Okay. So, the red ones in this picture are the floating ribs. The reason they're called floating ribs is because they are not connected. Look at all the other ones. All the other ones are connected one to the other. Right? These two just float. Now, all your ribs attach to your spine, and then they come around. The floating ribs attach to your spine, and they come around, and then they just float. How far do your ribs go? Everyone's is different. Okay? So, your ribs stop in your mouth. Okay? Mine come around to the side. It doesn't mean anything. It means I have different parents than you. That's all it means. Is, some people are tall, some people are short, some people are broad, some people. Everyone do this with their arm. Look at my arm. Pretty much looks straight. This angle between your forearm and your upper arm, that is called your carrying angle. Everybody's carrying angle is different. It doesn't mean anything. Except everyone's different, right? So you might choose, instead of a straight bar, you might choose to do dumbbells, right? Or if you're doing a tricep press, you don't want the arms locked because it jams up your elbows, and so you might be more susceptible to certain injuries, right? Everyone's anatomy is different, but gross anatomy is pretty similar. As far as I know, we're all human. Liver. My liver, all the way up here, all the way, a pretty big target. Now, my ribs are here. So, we can get under my ribs, or you can bend the ribs. Right under the right armpit is a good target, right? The other reason that's such a good target is because it rarely ever gets conditioned. So it's not used to impact. Right? Here, we do ab work, rah, 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 rah. But when the arm is out and you slip that across, come up, boom, with a shovel hook, boom, liver shots and fights. Good hard liver shots and fights. Chin shots. Those are knockouts, right? Solar plexus. Everyone know where this is? Where your rib cage comes together? Sternum. Does everyone know where your sternum is? Right? Your breastbone, your breastplate. Underneath that, the tip hanging down, that's called the xiphoid process. That's different on everybody. Some people have a really long, sharp, pointy xiphoid process. You hit that, break. And it causes lacerations, and you hit it hard enough, you can actually do some serious damage. But where the ribs come together, right there, that's called the solar plexus. And it's a bundle of nerves like this, also right at the base of your rib cage is the diaphragm. Has anyone had the wind knocked out of them?
Yeah.
You like it? Horrible, right? Does everyone know that you don't actually get the wind knocked out of you? You actually have the wind knocked into you. Your lungs are full, and then your diaphragm is spasming, and it feels like you can't breathe because you're trying to breathe in, but your lungs are already full. And the muscle that causes the air to inflate is doing this.
Is that why Jamal would tell us that when we get hit to a hard body shot, to punch right away and expel?
That's one reason.
He said, you want
Always,
yeah, right after you
get a cheese, clear that out, and don't take the chance of, if it were a heart attack, it'd be a defib. But basically, what happens when your nervous system gets scrambled, right? And muscles can spasm, and muscles can cramp. And yes, that's why he says that. But then the other reason he says that is we don't stay hit. Does that make sense? Did you guys get to see Charles Martin's last fight? Charles got hit once or twice. To quote Jamal, the worst thing you can do is hit Charles. Charles is a nice guy until you hit him. First round, he was actually a pretty nice guy. Guy hit him, his face changes. His face changes to what I want your faces look like over there in the mirror. Now, if you just come out that way, right? But instantly, you hit Charles, he hits you back, and he puts you to sleep, right? So that's a nice mechanism to have to bypass any thought. Just automatic. Somebody hits you and rattles you, you fire right back. With covers and blocks, you don't let them finish their flurry. You don't let them finish their combination. You interrupt it, boom, boom, and start your own. So we know where the liver is. That's on the right side. We know where the solar plexus is. It's right where your rib cage comes together and right below that. Is there anything on the left comparable to perhaps a liver? Some people will talk about the spleen. Spleen is a tiny organ. I believe that you can hit the ribs hard enough to cause, I don't know now, you're not trying to rupture the spleen because that is lethal, but you shake it.
You didn't see on Fight Science when Boss Ruben was challenged to break the spleen?
He couldn't do it.
He did it.
Oh, he did do
He
it.
broke the spleen.
Well, there you go. So he killed the dummy on sports science.
It takes a lot more force.
A lot more force, but you don't have to rupture the spleen to cause pain and disable somebody and make them realize that they made a mistake. Here's the thing. Here's our little secret. Someone else signs that contract, they made the biggest mistake of their life, right? They won't find it out until the bell rings. My preference is one bell. One bell. The first bell. That's when they find out how much big of a mistake they made. And they don't hear the second bell because they're writhing on the floor in pain, they're convulsing, or they're unconscious. Anyone else, any other coaches talked about fighting that way? Jamal will talk about getting the most from the promoters. The promoters are paying for 10 rounds. We'll give them 1 or 2, maybe 3. Now in boxing, the rounds are shorter, but I still like the concept of 1 bell. The other thing is, well, the fight doesn't have to be over, but your opponent should know he made a mistake before that second bell ever rings. So we move faster. Here's the thing. When you're trying to hit somebody and you can't find them, you know you made a mistake. You're outclassed. When somebody hits you and your arm goes numb, or hits you and you don't remember your name, you don't remember your name, but you know you fucked up. You know you made a mistake, right? So these are the attitudes you can start embodying and bringing in, right? You don't bring it into sparring necessarily, unless, all right, well, I'm going to work on not being there. I'm going to work on going to the next, going to the right. Sort of. And you can place the shot without landing the shot, right? So if we're sparring, and I know, and if he's any good, he knows. And this kind of contact, sparring, well, those are 3 good shots. Okay, so we have the chin, the eyes, the nose, throat. It's illegal. Prove I meant it. Right? I was aiming at his chin. Oh, this little notch right here? Good. Stick your finger. You're aiming at the chin, but hit the throat, liver, solar plexus, spleen, body shots, anywhere. The diaphragm, so anywhere on the ribs. Now, the abs tend to be well conditioned and not a great target, okay? So you're looking right under the armpit, you're looking for the ribs. Now, everybody's ribs are in a different relationship to where their hips are. Some people, their hips are high, and some people, their hips are low. Everyone do this. Some people, look, this is where it's called the iliac crest, but the top of his hips are. And that's also where the bottom of his elbow is. Which means if he keeps his hands here and his chin down here, there you go. I don't have any targets. Because he picked his parents pretty good for boxing. Because look at this arm. His humerus is long. His elbow is short. His hips are high. So there's no space. Now some guys have shorter arms and long torsos, so you go into wrestling. Better for wrestling. Your arms are short, your hips and your torso are long, then, well, it's easy to find liver. And so obviously these are the things you cannot change, but be aware of so you can spot it on your opponent. Oh, look, you know, his hip comes up pretty high too. Arms aren't as long, but his hips are really high and his waist is pretty short. It's pretty good for striking, right? Now, here we go. Hips down here. There we go. I've got room to sneak in. Your hips are way high. His hips are all the way up by his ears. Who knew that the structure of your pelvis, something you have no control over, is a factor that will be advantageous. Just be aware of it, that people are going to be able to sneak up in there. Well, that will never happen in park. That's his hip. Right? Look, he's standing with his arms crossed, and his elbow is touching his hip. You guys know who Steve Cummings is? He was ranked probably number 5 in the world at heavyweight. He's a little guy. He's actually a cruiserweight that went up to heavyweight. But he's got these arms that just go for days. It's very long, and when he just rests his arm here, and it's like down, right? Okay. How you're built is going to determine how you stand. The targets that I just told you, they're the targets that we want to protect. What are some ways that we can protect targets?
Just aware.
Being aware. Putting something else in front of it. This is your liver. You don't want me to hit the liver. You'd rather I hit your arm than your liver. Okay, that's one option. What's another way to protect something valuable? Put it over there. There, see? Now, stop me here.
Reach.
Distance. So how do you want to use distance to protect your liver? Look, he's keeping it back, away. We don't have a southpaw tonight. But southpaws stand this way because they want the power hand in the back. Southpaws have an advantage. It's an awkward disadvantage. It's an unfamiliar advantage. You spar orthodox fighters all the time, but then you get this, dude, you're backwards. Come on, right? But there's one more. We've got blocking or protecting, right? Shielding. You can shield something vulnerable. You can keep it out of range. What's the last one? Okay. Head movement, yeah? Or footwork. You kick the ball, or you can just move the goal. Show me your fighting stance. Actually, go show you your fighting stance.